Yes, yes. What's going on, guys? My name is Eddie Tranzcendent. This is the Tranzcendent Outlook Podcast, where our mission is to highlight and celebrate individuals, businesses, and organizations that are pushing boundaries, overcoming challenges, and creating meaningful impact in their communities and beyond. And this is like the fourth interview in a row that we're doing here. De cansado, me quiero ir. No, I'm good. I'm having a good time. It's been very fun today. Right now, I'm being joined by Camilia. She said like familia, Camilia Lopez. Wait, are we doing Lopez or are we doing Seda-Lopez?
We're gonna cut that whole thing out. No.
Camilia
Seda. Camilia Seda. Just Camilia Seda.
No, but I don't want no issues with mom or dad. Like, you know what I mean?
Camilia Seda-Lopez.
Are we gonna be good?
Yeah, Camilia Seda-Lopez,
Okay.
so that they both happy.
So we have her. Okay, so mom, dad, if you guys are watching, Camilia Seda-Lopez. Lo dije yo, no fue ella. I was looking at for you guys. I'm just letting you know right now. This is what I'm doing. She's the pageant coordinator for the PRPFC Cultural Pageant. The PRPFC is the Puerto Rican Parade of Fairfield County. And she's the cultural pageant. She's been doing that for a little while now. And I'm really excited to talk to her because she's able to bring in a different perspective, right? Because she was not only was she the parent, she actually told me a little while ago that she was a contestant many years ago, and then she was the parent of a contestant, and then now she is a coordinator. And so I think that this is going to be a very interesting conversation because we get to talk to somebody who's seen it from all different angles. So without further ado, Camilia, how are you?
Hello. Tired.
Yes.
Fourth one, right? No.
Yeah, that's the fourth one. You've been kind of like coordinating from behind the scenes. You're over there kind of
Always.
pointing and doing all that. No, but I'm really happy to have you here today. Thank you so much for coming up and joining me here. I didn't know that you were a contestant, so I kind of want to start there because
Moons ago.
yes, because when were you a contestant?
So the Puerto Rican Parade's been around for what, over 30 years
Yes,
now, right?
yes.
Back in the 90s,
Okay.
they had the Little Miss Puerto Rico, and then they had the Miss Puerto Rico, right?
Okay.
Little Mr. and Miss, Mr. and Miss.
Yeah.
And then in 93 or 95, something like that, they did the teen division.
Okay.
They did it 1 year, never did it again.
Okay.
Don't ask me why, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Fast forward 2003, I was a middle school student at Marin, and they were having the pageant, and I think it was like one of the social workers at the school or something like that. She's like, "Oh, we're hosting the pageant. I'm the coordinator. You should compete." I'm like, I don't know what the hell this is. Sure, why not,
Okay.
right? Just like all the other girls
Yeah.
said. I don't know, why not?
Yeah.
So I did it. My mom became a crazy stage mom.
Oh.
We competed, we killed it, and I won, right?
Okay.
Fast forward all the way 2018.
Yes.
My son, I have 3 boys. I have no
Yes.
girls, right?
Yes.
So I wanted a girl forever and ever and ever. After I did that pageant, that kind of started my pageant trajectory, right? So I competed in a bunch of different pageants after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, everyone's like, when you have a baby, you're going to have a little girl. And I got boy. Then what I get? Another boy. What I get? Another boy.
Te con la gana.
Exacto. So in 2018, I forced my son to compete for Little Mr. Puerto Rico.
Okay.
He didn't want to. He's super introverted, my oldest son. He's
Yeah.
16 now, and he's very introverted. And I'm like, you're going to do this. No, I'm not. You're going to do it because I'm your mother. And I said, you're going to do it. You need to try something new.
Yeah.
So he competed. He won. He took literally every trophy. Like, he did so well, and it really broke him out of his shell.
Yeah.
But as a parent in the background, I'm like, they didn't do this. They didn't do this. They could have done
Yeah,
this. Why
yeah.
didn't they change this?
Yeah.
And here I am dando todas las quejas, dándole pa'lante la lengua, right? And the following year, they're like, oh, so why don't you coordinate? And I'm like, I don't know if I can. My son's going to give up his crown now.
Yeah.
I have to get him ready. No. We need a coordinator, and you would be great. You've been in the pageant before.
Yes.
You know everyone around here.
Yeah.
My mother was also vice president of the parade. I don't know how many years before that.
Yeah.
So, like, you know the ins and outs. Step up to the plate.
Yeah.
Tiene muchas quejas, ¿verdad? Step up to the plate. And I was like, ugh. So
Yeah.
I took on the position, and I coordinated the pageant. That year, I think I had maybe like 12 kids or something like that. It was huge, though, compared to what they usually have. They only have like 6 or 7 kids
Yeah.
competing, right? Because
Yeah.
sadly, like, no one wants to do it.
Yeah.
And parents are very much like, oh, you don't want to do it, está bien,
Yeah.
right? So that year, it was a big year. And I remember we did one event, and it was so long. It was like 8 hours long.
Yeah.
And everybody was like hungry. And I'm like, I got a lot of kids. What do you want me to do? Whatever. COVID came. They stopped it for a couple of years. I said I wasn't going to do this again. They started up again. They're like, we need you back. I'm like, absolutely not. That is so much work.
Yeah.
It is so tiring. And then you see the kids, and I'm like, see these faces?
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever. They need somebody, right?
Yeah.
So I took on the reins again. And then in 2023, they brought on Leticia.
Yes.
Ticha. She's going to correct me. She's going to look at that video like, it's not Leticia. Luti.
Yes.
My girl. I've known Luti since younger. Luti was also a Miss Puerto Rico.
Yes.
And so we knew each other through pageants. She started coordinating. We joined forces. That year, the pageant, I think we had maybe like 13 to 14 contestants. We
Okay.
split it into a 2-day event where we did kind of like preliminaries one day and then awards and crowning on another. Just kind of, testing out the waters to see how that went. The following year, it got bigger. This past year, we had 19 contestants.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so every year it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yes.
So we ended up dividing it into 2 separate pageants. We had our Little Miss division one day, which was, I think we had like 9 girls competing. So it was a super long event as well. And then the Junior Miss, that's another thing. Let me backtrack a little bit. We brought back the Junior Miss division. Yes. And so then we have the Junior Miss and the Miss division on a separate day. So it's just getting bigger and better every single year.
Yeah, so I didn't even know because Luthi before she became a coordinator, she reached out to me. And she said, "Hey, Eddie, I want to get involved, and I know you was involved before." And so I connected her with Milta and with Lisette. But I had no idea that you were already there. And so we met up at Starbucks one night and we're talking and they're like, "Yeah, well, we want you to meet, Camilia." And we're like, "Oh, wait." And I was like, "Oh, I had no idea. I had no idea that somebody was already there." And so I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be perfect because you guys already knew each other, so it kind of worked out or whatever." And so it's great to see what you guys have kind of built it into. Have you had any? Because I know in the past when I was involved, we had kind of issues getting more boys involved. Has that been something that you guys have faced as well?
Yes. Unfortunately, now 2026, I have eliminated the boys division.
Okay.
Just because, unfortunately, it's difficult. Like, not every parent has the same mindset where it's like you're gonna try something new, and you're gonna try because I'm your parent, and if you don't like it, then at least you did it, right? Not everybody has that mentality. Nowadays, it's more difficult to get the kids to kind of do this because it's like, oh, that's a girl thing. It's like this is not a beauty pageant; it's a cultural pageant. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So honestly, I just kind of did away with it. I've never like vetoed the idea completely.
If you had
if I was to get the interest and I was to get enough boys to where it's feasible, it's worth the while to bring the boys division back, then absolutely. I mean, my son was Little Mr. Puerto Rico. Why not, right? Yeah. But right now, it's just like I'd get one boy. Yeah. And so he'd have to do the entire pageant and I'd have to get all the awards. I was like, winner for this division. Surprise. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, in terms of, you said a little while ago, you said, this is not a beauty pageant. This is a cultural pageant, How are you or how do you explain that to the kids, right? That this is a cultural pageant and we're focusing more on culture and not so much on, this is not a beauty pageant.
I mean, so I make sure that I make that very clear from the very beginning when we have, so once we start opening up the registrations, right, we have like a kind of like a preliminary meeting, right? It's a registration meeting, not necessarily an orientation, but kind of, right? Where I bring the kids and the parents in. Anybody who's interested comes and I pretty much lay everything out there. I'm like, this is not a beauty pageant. This is a cultural pageant. Yeah. The purpose in the pageant, the vision, the goal of the pageant is to preserve our Puerto Rican culture, to keep our heritage alive, to keep our traditions alive, right? While also empowering the youth. We're cultivating and creating like future young leaders, civic activists, community, public service leaders. You know what I mean? Yes. So I lay that out very much from the beginning. So I tell the parents, they're going to learn here. Yeah. If you don't teach them at home what it is to be Puerto Rican, I promise you I'm going to teach them. By the end of this, they're going to know. They're going to know where they come from. They're going to know qué es lo que es el boricua. You know what I mean? Where do we come from? What's our history? And so something that I've changed a lot, I don't know, from when you were there versus now, I put together like a cultural, kind of like a curriculum, right? So I break down the 3 to 4 months that we practice into weekly lessons. So I legit have a lesson plan. And this week we're learning about this. Next week we're learning about that. I'm giving the kids handouts. I'm asking them questions. Each one of the kids gets a notebook. So they're actually writing things down. So it's not like, well, I'm gonna do this talent and I'm gonna learn how to say my lines. And then, I got a nice dress and I'm gonna win. Yes. Like you need to know what you're talking about. So when the interview comes, right, for our older divisions, the judges are fully aware and prepped in advance. I'm like, you can ask them any question under the sun. Okay, this is the entire curriculum they learned. Yes, ask them; they should know.
That's good. That's really interesting. In terms of the community, as a whole, I've noticed more people involved. I think I've seen more. How have you been able to kind of change that? I'm not saying that it wasn't happening before, but I feel like now I'm seeing more community involvement when it comes to the pageant. And I think it's great because when you talk about, being civically engaged and just knowing more about what's going on, not only in Puerto Rican culture, but just, civically, locally, I feel like you guys are doing a good job at that part. How have you been able to kind of like to change that?
So personally, I have the gift of gab.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And so I network a lot, right?
Yeah.
And I reach out to people because, as you said when we were talking before, like, you never know who you're meeting. You never know who you're going to need later on,
Yeah.
right? So anytime I hear of any type of events, I'll cold call anyone. I'm like, hey, do you have room for my girls in your program?
Yeah.
And girls will reach out. People will reach out as well to us to invite the girls.
Yeah.
I personally will involuntarily volunteer anyone who's near. So if you're going to have a conversation with me about the pageant, I'm like, we could use your help.
Yeah.
Let me give you a call next week. I could use some extra bodies.
Yeah.
So I feel like literally going out into the community and asking people for help, asking for that support, rather than just trying to do everything on your own, just makes so much more of a bigger difference. Right now, I'm working on putting together like a committee for the pageant specifically. The parade itself is a huge entity with a lot of little branches, right? You have the division for the gala, you have the ones for the festival, you have the ones for the stage, you have the ones for the lineup. There's just so many different parts that you can't expect for the entire board of directors to be like, okay, I'm going to focus on each part of the organization, right?
Yeah.
So personally, I'm reaching out to friends, to former parents that have competed, and I'm just keeping them involved. Like some of the girls had mentioned, you win this year, right? That doesn't mean next year you're completely out of the picture.
Yeah.
We try to keep them engaged and as involved as possible.
Yeah, no, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think it's great, especially for the new ones coming in, to be able to see the ones who were there before them, to be able to learn from them. And I think what you're doing is great. I agree. I think that the parade itself is so big, and there's so and it's almost like it's his own animal, his own beast,
It's a lot of moving parts.
Even though it's one day, it's a lot that goes into that one day, right? And so some things should be kept separate. And I think that's amazing. Now, how soon do you guys start getting ready for next year? And I'm only asking this question because I remember when I first got involved with the Puerto Rican Parade of Fairfield County, I remember getting involved, and I remember the parade happened, and I remember we had a meeting. The
week after.
we had a meeting before the parade, right? So the parade's coming up, the weekend before, the parade's coming up, and I'm there, and I'm sitting with Maria Valle and a whole bunch of other people who were there, Susie, Lafitte, and a whole bunch of people, and I'm just sitting there talking to them, and I'm excited, and they're like, yeah, whatever, and they're talking about next year, and I'm like, all right, so after the parade, when do we get together for next year? And they're like, oh, next week. And I'm like, what?
It's a year-round production.
That's what they said. I didn't know, and I'm like, crap, what am I getting myself into, So I'm guessing it's
like, how do I pull out in case?
So I'm guessing the same thing for you guys. How soon do you start getting ready for next year?
I am already getting started for next year.
Okay, and in terms of people being able to maybe perhaps bring their kids in and start doing that.
Come the fall, once school starts,
yes,
we start sending out flyers to the different school districts.
Okay.
So that they have access to them, so they can post them on Parent Square.
Okay.
So literally, there's a flyer that goes out that says registration will open X date.
Okay.
Right? So typically, like, school gets started at the end of August, beginning of September. By like October, November, flyers are already starting to go out.
Okay.
By December, the date for orientation is out. And then right after New Year's, I'm ready to rock. Like, we are ready.
Yes.
But like by now, I have half of everything already in production.
Yeah, no, definitely. And what do you call it? So, okay, so we're already getting ready for next year, but you're also like doing this year. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you get ready for next year, but then you also have the Royal Court from this year that's doing events right now as we speak. Talk to me a little bit about those events that are coming up.
So where do we start? I mean, right after the girls are crowned, we have a meeting afterwards with the girls and their parents.
Okay.
Where it's myself, the other directors, Milta Feliciano, who's the pageant, the parade president, right? We all get together and the parents and the children sign a contract. We go over the expectations. Okay.
Yes.
So it's not like I just won this crown, I won the title, that's it.
I'm
done.
out.
No. There's standards to be withheld throughout the year.
Yes,
you know
what I mean? Of course.
And so they get like the expectations, the list of expectations beforehand. They understand that they are required to do a certain number of appearances, correct? Yeah. Of appearances, in addition to any appearances that they want to do or events that they want to do on their own.
Yes.
I typically have the girls let me know, like, listen, what's your goal this year? Like, what's your platform? What do you want to use this crown for, right? And then from there, we kind of build on different events that focus on their platform, in addition to events that are already happening. For example, all of the different festivals, all of the different parades throughout the year, not only Puerto Rican, but like the Barnum Festival, the Dominican Parade. Like, there's a lot of different parades that happen. Yeah. Aside from the parades, I'll look for different like civic involvement events for them, right? Right now, the girls are working with the CTPR Trade Commission. So they go up quarterly up to Hartford and they meet. They are the only kids there, the only teenagers there showing face and working to build that bridge between Connecticut and Puerto Rico, to build different relationships, hopefully at the end of like the year, we're planning on possibly bringing them over to PR to work with the government.
Okay.
That's a big goal. That's something new we incorporated this year. I try to make an event, if not monthly, at least quarterly, a big event, right? The girls are going to be they're going to be hosting a food drive in November. They were just recently partnered up with the Hartford pageant and did kind of like a meet and greet and worked with the food pantry at the Eleanor Apartments in Bridgeport last week. They have the toy drive coming up in December. They have all of the Three Kings Day and all of the holiday events that are coming up as well. Coming up in March for Women's Month.
Yes.
The girls, this is a big event that all of the winners have to do, and they know this right from the very beginning. So they are required to coordinate an event with the help, obviously, of the adults, right? But it's like their show. They have to decide who the key speakers are going to be. They're going to decide who they want to honor. They're going to decide what vendors or what different businesses they want to invite. They pick the food, the decor, like everything, okay? And then we teach them like, okay, well, this is how you put together a spreadsheet, or like this is how you use a Google Drive. The girls along with their mothers as well.
Yeah.
So they have this event in March. It's like a tea party networking event where a bunch of businesses come together and just like-minded women that are just, striving for greatness and celebrating womanhood, right? And I'm like, you're 5 years old, but you're going to learn what it is to be, a woman, right? And a Latina at that, you know?
Yes.
So
no, that's amazing. And it sounds like pretty much once they win, the ones that do win.
That's when the work starts.
Yeah, and it's ongoing all the way to next year, which is great. What would you say is your goal for each girl individually, right? Now, and I mean, I'm not saying like, for the misses this, for the junior, just overall, what do you want them to take away from this when they're done?
One, I want them to have a positive experience, right? My overall goal in general with the pageant itself, I have a lot of people that are like, why do you do this? Like, it takes so much time. You're not getting paid for this. This is volunteer work. Like, you have your own kids, you have your own life, and every week you have an event, and you're juggling your kids plus those kids as well, right? Because I got 20 extra girls. And to me, it's like, if I can help get 1, 2, or 20 girls on a straight path off the streets, because nowadays you have to keep the girls off the streets just as much as the boys, right? Keep them focused on something positive for a year. I mean, if they take that and they grow with it, then right, even better. But if I can keep 15 to 20 girls in line and involved in something positive for 1 year, then I feel kind of like, my granito de arroz. I've put my little granito de arroz.
And it's going to happen. It's only a matter of time before, 10, 15 years from now, you're going to get that phone call, or you're going to run into somebody and they're going to say, oh my God, remember me? Because of you, I did this or I did that. It happens to me.
So rewarding.
It happens to me even now, and I'm only 41 years old. So, and I'm not doing what you're doing. You're working with way more kids than I work with, And so when that happens, that's when that's when you feel like, oh, you know what, I did. Even if it's one, like, it doesn't matter. I always say with each one of my interviews, I want to impact one person.
Right.
I want one young lady out there to see you and to say, oh, I want to be like her. Like I want to work. I want to volunteer. I want to do something for the community. And if us together we can impact one person, that's a win. That's the way I see it. And so I definitely get where you're coming from. In terms of upcoming events, are there any events that we should be looking forward to?
There's a lot of events throughout the year. Closest event coming up now that I would like to promote and tell everyone about is our car wash. So this is something new. This is something we're starting this year, and I'd like to continue it for the years to come. Okay. Putting together this event, obviously, is a nonprofit organization. So it takes a lot of manpower. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of money as well, right? So one of the things that we're doing to kind of try and raise funds is the car wash. Yes. We have the facility donated by Joey from Briarwood Automotives in Bridgeport. So it's going to be held on East Main Street, August 16th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. The girls will be washing cars. Yes. I will be directing. They're gonna have exterior car washes by the kids and some supervisors, right? Yeah, of course. But I think it's gonna be a fun event. It's something different. It's out of the ordinary. They're gonna get messy, and you know what I mean. Just come down and support the kids. Yeah. So if you support the future, if you want to support the vision, bring your cars. Tell your friends. Bring your SUVs at that. Okay. Yes. And come support the kids. Yeah. No, that's definitely. Now, before I go, I don't want to leave without, using you as someone who could perhaps inspire or motivate, a young lady out there. And I know you're doing that already with your girls here,
but maybe somebody who's watching, so maybe somebody out there who may be looking for some inspiration from someone who's doing it, and particularly I want to talk about, what you talked about a few minutes ago, doing something for free, doing something volunteer, right? Because, there's a lot of nonprofits out there, and they need help, we need people to come and help us out, and so, would you be able to, to share, some words of wisdom to hopefully inspire a young lady out there to give some time to an organization and help out? Because again, a lot of these nonprofits, they need people. They need people, and without the people, they're nothing.
Right.
Without you, without Luti, without Milta, without nobody. You guys are not getting paid. They just you guys working hard after your regular job and after your kids and after everything else. And so if you could share some words of wisdom to somebody out there to maybe inspire them to come out and maybe not help the PRPFC, but maybe just help someone in general. Yeah.
Right. Money isn't everything.
Yeah.
You know that money moves the world, controls the world, right? But money isn't everything. And sometimes helping the next person out is just as rewarding as helping yourself out. So if you have an opinion, right? If you have a comment, if you have a suggestion, reach out. Join an organization. Doesn't necessarily have to be this one. It could be the next one, something that you're interested in. But I promise you that doing something voluntarily is just as rewarding as doing something for some type of compensation.
No, I love that. I feel like you don't know what really goes on until you're in there. And I remember when I was involved with the Puerto Rican Parade of Fairfield County, and after the parade, people were, oh, que porquería. Oh, you guys didn't do this.
Yeah.
Oh, this and that. And I used to be like, bro, let's
Come
go.
help.
Yeah. You got ideas? Come on, let's go.
Absolutely.
Oh, no, I don't got time. But then, bro, if you got time to talk, just come. Like, it wasn't even like mean spirited. It was just like, if you got ideas, we need you. We need some young people to come in and do this. And so what you're saying is so true. And I used to go through it every single year. After the parade, it was always all the negative about, too many Jeeps or too much music or not enough music or not enough culture. And it's just like, just come on with your ideas and let's do it,
Yeah.
And anyway, thank you so much for coming here today and talking about the pageant. Guys, if you're still watching, we're going to put all the information on how to get involved with the pageant in the description of this video. Reach out to me, reach out to Camilia Seda-Lopez. And find out how you can get involved with either getting your kids involved or just getting involved with the organization overall. The PRPFC can definitely help use the help of you coming in and helping, whether it's you giving an opinion, you coming in and getting your hands dirty, you coming in and helping with these 20-something girls. Please come in and help out. Again, they could use your help and
the pageant as well.
Yeah,
I'm going to be having a meeting soon for anybody who wants to join the pageant committee.
There we go. Yeah. So when I say PRPFC, I'm talking about just overall, right? But the PRPFC has different committees within it. Today we're talking about the pageant, and there's a meeting coming up
soon.
Follow
our Instagram for details.
In any event, thank you so much for coming, and guys, be transcendent.